All right, friends, welcome. Let's start today in standing in the middle of your mat. Feet can come about a hip width apart and relax your arms down. Take up your space and reach up to the sky. Interlace your fingers and lengthen. Feel some side bends, obliques, back, and abdominals. Releasing the hands. Let your body swing from side to side and turn with the ankles. So allowing the foot to roll to the top so that you can really twist all the way back. Maybe taking your gaze to where you're twisting. And then back at center. Step to the front of your mat if you're not already there. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, forward fold, hands to the floor. Let your head go down. Inhale, get long. I like hands on the knees for a good amount of length. Hands to the mat. We'll step back, find yourself in a plank. And of course, if it's too much, you can be on your knees. From your plank, just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Downward facing dog, hips go up. We're gonna come back to plank and then find some rolling side planks. So you could also be on your knees for this. You don't feel like if it's too soon for you, just come onto your knees and do the same. Lift your hips and ripple forward. Turn your toes to the left and lift your left hand. Bring the left hand down and roll right hand up. So my feet are coming to the sides as I go side to side. Arms reach all the way up, and then I just switch sides. So you could certainly move slower if that feels better to you. I'm going to try to keep your body in a firm line. Maybe also starting to test the shoulders. And then back at center, we'll put the knees down. Hips go back, child's pose. And then round yourself forward. Lift your chest, find the cow. Hips go back. Ripple forward and round. Find the cow. And then hips go back. We'll do one more. Ripple forward. Find the cow. And then hips go back. Take your gaze forward on the mat, maybe in front of the mat even. Hands are a good shoulder width apart, so you don't want to be too narrow here. Send your chest through the arms, hugging the elbows in and lie onto your front. You can swim the legs back to flatten the front of your hips against the mat. Inhale, lift to baby cobra with a squeeze of the back muscles. And then release the effort. Come again, inhale. Squeeze baby cobra. If it feels good, find your fuller cobra. And then descend all the way onto your front. Last time, inhale, baby cobra. Fuller cobra. Now engage your legs, press into the tops of your feet. Maybe an upward dog. And then lower the thighs and come all the way down. Arms are going out to the side. So let's just start with the right hand out to the side, shoulder height. And then bend the left knee and step it behind your right foot, feeling a bit of opening through the front of your right shoulder and chest. If it's okay with your neck, take a look up and over your left shoulder. So you get a bit of a neck stretch down the right side of your neck. And then roll back onto your front. And we'll just switch sides. So the left arm comes out about shoulder height. Bend the right knee, step it over. Look over your right shoulder. And then come back onto your front. One more time each side. Right arm straight. Step over. You might even think about your left knee opening more to the left. And then change. And come on through. Nice work. Hands beside you. Push into your hands and your knees. Back towards the child's pose. Toes tucked under. Active child's pose. So that just means elbows off the floor. And then lift your hips up to downward facing. When you're downward facing, take a moment to get really long. And then with the right foot, step it forward towards the right hand, put the left knee down, inhale the arms up. Right hand grabs left wrist, side bend to the right. Good, coming back up. Hands behind you, interlace your hands. Lift the chest, and then see if you can bow down to the inside of your right foot. Arms go up, head goes down. Inhale, arms come up, chest comes up. Side bend to your right. Come back in the middle, interlace the hands behind you. Maybe the opposite grip if you remember. Knuckles to the floor, chest goes up, and bow down inside of the right knee. So maybe testing your balance a little bit here. Inhale, come on up, arms up. Side bend to the right. Last time, coming up and hands behind. Open up that chest and fold forward inside of your right knee. So as you fold here, make sure you're staying knee over ankle on the right side. Let your head be heavy so you're not looking forward. And then as you inhale, lift the chest, place the hands on the floor and step back downward facing dog. Option here to flow or just stay in downward facing. You can take a rest even just sitting. Inhale upward, and we'll go downward facing dog. Long breath in, long breath out. So we're going to repeat that for the other side. We'll go forward with the left foot, right knee down. Kneeling lunge, inhale, arms up. Side bending to your left. So you can take the left hand and wrap it around the right wrist as you bend to the left. Inhale back to center, hands behind the back. Puff the chest and fold inside of your left knee. So if you don't go down that far, that's okay. Just see where your body naturally wants to go. Inhale back up, arms up. Side bending to the left. Inhaling back through center, hands behind. Open up and go down. So as you get more comfortable in this position, as you get used to it, you might naturally relax into it more, and that will help you find a bit more depth. Last time through, arms up, side bend left, back to center, hands behind, open chest, and down inside. And so we'll hold just a tiny bit longer. And then as you inhale to lift your chest, bring your hands to the floor on either side of the foot, curl your back toe under, and step back, downward dog. Decide if you'd like to rest, if you'd like to flow, if you'd like to do a modification of the flow, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Take a few breaths, reset, lengthen. You can walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat. And when you get to the top of the mat, have your feet about a hip width apart. We're going to be coming into a forward fold. So you want to feel like you have a nice stable base. If you want to, you can hold the sides of your ankles and then draw your chest further down to the floor, bending knees as much as you need to. And then we'll inhale, just lift the gaze, and then start to sit into a low squat. So if for you, you need the heels to be up, or you need to sit on some blocks, that's okay. Slide the chest forward and up as you push the knees open with your elbows. Just pause and hold. Forward fold to release. And we'll come back into that deep squat. So as you go into the deep squat, again, hands to heart. And we'll add a little bit of an open chest here. So right hand to the floor. You can maybe bring the shoulder just to the inside of the knee. So you go a little lower. And then the left arm can go up. Now, if that's a lot for your shoulder, it doesn't work out for you, you can bring the left hand to the back of your head. Keep trying to push the knees open. We'll change sides. So the left hand comes down. Before you open, get the left arm, shoulder, just in front of the knee so you can use that to push back. Right arm goes up. Knees being pressed wide. Good job. And then bring the right hand down. We'll forward fold to release. Let your head be heavy. And then press into your feet. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long. Hands to the mat, we'll step back. Plank to low plank. Upward facing. Downward facing. Right foot step forward. Turn your left heel down. Let's open to warrior two. So warrior two is a nice long stance. If you need more space, slide the left heel further back and the arms are wide. Your shoulders are level. Your shoulders are also stacked above the hips. Take that front leg straight, give it a rest, and lengthen. So as you reach your right arm forward, you're coming towards triangle. So the right arm is tracking above the right leg, and the left arm goes up. Take the left hand behind you as an option, and maybe you hook your right hip, or you just take that hand to your shirt behind you. So you can encourage the right leg, right hip to move slightly back. Release the left hand back up in the air and bend your front knee. You're back in warrior two. Interlace the hands behind you. Puff the chest. And then come down towards the inside of your right foot for a humble warrior. So you're letting your head go down. Your arms are going up. Find the stability of your legs. Really bend into the right knee. Just hold. And as you look slightly forward, release your left hand to the floor underneath your shoulder. Come to the outer edges of the feet and take your right hand up. So you're in a side plank with a hip opener. Bring your right hand to the floor, step back, downward facing. Plank to low. Upward facing. Downward facing. The left foot, take a big step forward. Turn the right heel down. Windmill arms up, warrior two. So again, adjust your feet if they're not quite where they need to be. Arms are wide, shoulders level. You have a good space between the feet so it allows you to sink deep. As you straighten your front leg, reach forward. Try to take your time to reach forward and really find the hinge at your left hip. Left hand down, right hand up. So this is your triangle. Arms and legs are straight. You might stay here in our traditional triangle with the arms wide. Or if you'd like, take the right arm behind you. You might catch the hip or just the back of your shirt. And then encourage this left hip to move back in space. Right, and that will help you elongate the left side of your waist. Also just invite a different rotation of your right shoulder. Crown of the head is reaching forward here. And release the right arm back up to the sky and come back up, warrior two, so the front knee bends, the arms are level. And then I'll interlace the hands behind, pull the knuckles down to the floor, and then take that leg forward into the inside of my left leg. Arms go up, head goes down. As you look up, bring your right hand underneath the shoulder, come to the outer edges of both feet, and the left arm goes up. So you're in a side plank with a hip opener with the left knee turned out. And then the left hand can come down and we'll step back to downward facing dog. If you'd like to flow here, add it in, shifting forward to plank, lowering, upward, and downward. And look to your hands, step, walk, or jump. Move forward to flat back, lengthen. Exhale and fold. And then we'll take that deep squat again. So again, feet are about a hip width apart. You're gonna go down. Hands can come to the heart. If this is where you'd like to stay, then just work here on the hips. Otherwise, we're going right hand down. Again, shoulder just to the inside of the knee and left arm up. Now you were here the last time. Maybe the hand was behind your head. You're just gonna work on opening the knees and pushing the knee back. If it feels okay with your shoulders and you want to try, you can take your right arm open to the right, turn the palms back, and then bind behind your right hip. Okay, so the torso, the hips, the legs are doing the same. We've just changed the arms. Your arms are wrapped around your right knee. Okay, we'll release the bind, open the arms, and we'll come down the other side. So left shoulder is the inside of the left knee. Hand can come to the floor and right hand can go up. So this is where we left off last time. And certainly feel free to stay here. If it suits you, you might take the arms out, turn the palms back, and then grab the hands. You could also use a strap. Straps are great. They're useful for helping you bridge that gap until you find the opening in the shoulder. And just having it nearby all the time is really useful here. You're trying to lean the chest back, even though you're connecting the hands. Sometimes that makes us feel like we need to crouch forward. And then go ahead, release the arms, and come back through center. Take your forward fold just to release the hips. Let your head go down. And then press into your feet. Inhale, stand up. Nice big stretch at the top here, helping you open up through the front of your hips. You might even take a slight back bend and then fold. Inhale, go long. Hands to the mat and we step back. Option to add a flow or not. And then downward facing dog. Press back through the feet and the legs. Hips are pulling back towards the sky. Fingers are pressing forward. Okay, so right leg's coming forward this time to a lunge. We'll turn the left heel down. And coming up, warrior two. In warrior two, we're gonna reach forward, place the elbow to the knee, and the left arm goes up. So we have some options. This is your option A. Option B might be hand on a block, or option C might slide the arm down, again, shoulder to the inside of the knee and then the bind. So again, working the same theme that we've been doing so far. Lean back through the shoulders so you're not rolling forward and down. It's important to find the legs for this. Right? Try to bend deeply into the front knee. We'll look down to the floor and put the left hand on the mat. Take your right hand up. Again, you're on the outer edges of your feet. Hold it here. And totally optional, you can pick up the right knee, step it behind you. Now I like to bend both knees just to take a moment to take the weight off the left arm and then work to straighten the left leg and really stretch out the right side of the body. As you look down to the floor, bring your right hand down. Option to flow. Downward facing dog. Long breath and long breath. So as you reset, coming to the other side, it'll be left foot forward and you'll see my back. So you'll be able to see the bind maybe a little more clearly if you're not sure about it. Again, useful to have your strap nearby if your hands don't quite connect yet. And that's okay, right? If you're just moving in that direction, you're still getting the benefit of moving your shoulder in that internal rotation. So we'll come forward, left foot forward, right heel down, find your warrior two. As you lengthen forward with the left arm, left elbow to the knee, and right hand up. And if you're finding like this is enough compression for you, this is a great leg strengthener, right? Working on your obliques to help you hold this position with less weight through the arms. Your version might be hand towards the floor, right? Because maybe the knee and the shoulder aren't quite there yet, and that's okay. If you found that you could get the shoulder in front of the knee, you'll take the right hand inside the left and lean your chest back. And try your best to hold here. Notice where you can relax. As you release, we'll bring the right hand to the floor. The left hand goes up as you come to the outer edges of the feet. Open up, take your space. You could stay here. If you feel strong to lift the left knee, carry it behind you. I like to take the weight away from the right arm for a moment and then work to straighten the right leg and find all of that open through the side. As you look down to the floor, this is where you might add in your flow, lying to low, upward facing, and downward facing. And if you need more rest in the downward facing, or you just don't like downward facing, tabletop is a good substitute. Child's pose, allowing you to catch your breath, always working to find your breath and your pacing. So we're going to step, jump, or walk towards the top of the mat. Again, feet are about a hip width apart. Inhale to lengthen, and on an exhale, go ahead and fold. Now, with our fold, we're going to take our hands maybe to the outsides of the legs, and as you tip forward, think of a slight pulling action with the hands to start to light up some muscles of the back and the upper body to encourage some depth. Inhale, release. So we're going to practice some lifts through the feet. With the right hand, you're going to loop around your right big toe, and left hand to your hip. Now, I'm coming towards a stand. My right knee will bend as I stand up. So I want to be controlled in my movement. Think about pressing down through your right foot and pulling up through your right hand. So maybe a little bend in the left knee, stand up, and just stand here. Think of getting really tall, hold. If it feels good to you, you might add press forward through the right foot, but it's not necessary. You might just bend and hold it up as high as you can. If you want, you can add out to the side. And then bring it back to your center. Bend the knee, okay? So don't drop the foot. Control the descent. So you're looking for that balance of press down through the foot and pull up through the arm, right? Coordinating that to give you a nice soft landing. You're going to do the same on the other leg, okay? So with your feet about a hip width apart or so, you bring your left big toe. You can bring your right hand to your right hip. Weight through the right leg. Maybe bend the knee. Carefully take yourself up to stand. Just take a moment in standing. Make sure that you feel strong and confident through that right leg. Right, shoulders back. So if you're finding your foot is pulling your left shoulder down, draw the shoulder back. If you extended the leg, pushed it forward, extended the knee, I should say, and flexed the hip, your foot comes forward. If you want, you can take the leg out to the side. Again, this could be completely bent knee. Bring it back. Bend the knee, pause. So again, a large part of the work we're doing here is to try to keep the control and lower down slowly. So try not to drop the foot and bring it down. That's it. And just release. You can put your fingertips on the floor and shift a bit side to side. So the reason why we want to be mindful of that is because we're going to be lifting up. And again, when you lift up holding weight, especially a leg, we want to know what that feels like in terms of the push and the pull, right? The slight push down and then the slight pull up. And trying to coordinate that together. Now walk the hands a bit forward and step it back. Let's go plank, low plank. Upward facing and downward facing. Long breath in, long breath in. So before we come up, we're going to come down to sit first. So as you sit, right, just allow your legs to come out. Sit this direction. And I'm going to keep my left leg straight because I find that the straight leg gives me a better anchor to ground myself. The leg's heavier, it's longer. If you prefer to fold the leg or you have a hard time straightening the leg and this does not feel good to you to have the leg out straight, you can certainly fold the leg back like that. Okay, otherwise it's just straight. With the other leg, the active leg here, the right leg, I'm going to bring it up towards a one-side happy baby. And you can use both hands, right? And I'm thinking about tucking the knee right up under my arm and sitting up. So you might really want to round your back, and that's natural. I want you to try to get some lift as well. Go ahead, release it. And we'll do the same on the other side. And then we'll switch again and add on. So the right leg is straight, it's our anchor. Both hands to the left foot. Pull it up. Tuck the knee up and under your armpit. Sit proud. And I'm trying my best to get my heel as high as my knee. So if I were to be lying on my back, this whole left side would be in a happy baby, right? Heel over knee when we're on our back. So we want that when we're sitting up. And then go ahead and release it. So now we're going to try to add on, bring that shoulder inside of the knee like we've been doing with our binds. We're going to just see how that goes. Again, no pressure to go any further than you feel comfortable. I highly encourage you to keep the leg bent. And if it's within your abilities or your hamstrings feeling really good and you want to try to straighten the leg, by all means, you can straighten your right leg. It is really challenging though. So see if you can go more for the connecting the thigh to the side and then also maybe getting the shoulder in front of the knee. Think of that as more important right here. So we'll go again with the one side happy baby. And maybe you can tuck your shoulder or your arm underneath or to the inside of your knee. When you do that, I'm going to see if I can really nudge the leg up as high on the arm as possible. It doesn't have to be behind your shoulder. You're just going up as high as you can. And right again, like I said, your knee or your leg is bent, right? You might stay here and just work to sit. If you want, you can take the top of your foot with your left hand and press the ball of your foot forward. And then you see that you're making a little window here with your arm and your leg. Can you maybe tuck your head through the window and look through the window? And if you are, this is where you might be working towards a straighter leg, if that's a part of your practice. But again, don't force it. If you're really feeling good, see if you can reground the right sit bone. And then bend the knee. That's it. And just let it go. Okay? So give it a shake. We're going to do the same on the other side. So, for me, I like the leg straight. I'm going to bring the left knee in. Feel free to stop at any point in this journey, right? Because, of course, just working on the steps towards it is already, it's a big challenge, right? It's already really hard. So, all the work that you're doing, you're getting lots of benefit. Tuck your left shoulder to the inside of the knee and just see if you can nudge the left leg up as high behind the left arm as possible. Your left arm comes to the ground to really press the leg back and keep it back. Now you might stay or take the right hand to the top of the left foot. This is where you're going to press forward and see if you can look through the window between your arm and your leg. Maybe you send your head through and you work to straighten the left leg. You might even try to ground the left sit bone. And again, it's challenging, right? So don't force it, do what you can. Take your time, and then bend the knee and exit. Good job. Give your legs a stretch, a wobble. I'm gonna come into tabletop. And just do some cat-cows here. That can just feel good to do a bit of a reset. Finding that you're bringing your leg up like that, and especially in a seated position, you'll find that you have this real tendency to tuck and round the back. Normal, right? But again, it can be a lot of pressure. So just taking this time to counter it. So we're going to be coming up towards a stance. You can go downward dog. Walk your feet forward. Lift your chest. Exhale and fold. Inhale, take a nice big stretch up towards the sky. And just let the front of your hips lengthen. You might even be in a bit of a standing back bend. And then as you come back to neutral, let your arms come down. So now we're going to work on our balance, working exactly what we were doing before. Again, that shoulder to the inside of the knee. We're going to do it in a forward fold first just to get the feeling. We'll go a second time around with the option to stand up, right? But again, if you're just working on getting the connection or getting in close to your leg, don't force it, just stay down working on it. The stand is where the strap could be helpful to help you get that connection. You probably won't be able to come up very much if you don't have a strap, or at least, or if you're not holding your hands, at least a strap to bridge that gap. So I'm going to do feet about a hip width apart or even wider. I'm going to inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Now as I fold, I'm going to go down with the right arm, and I'm going to bend the right knee so I can maybe get that shoulder again to the inside of the knee. I'm going to take my gaze out to the left and open the arms. Take the hands behind the back, and this is where the left hand might slip inside the right hand. Or, again, you might have the strap. Work towards straighter legs if available, and just hold and hang out. And then soften, bend the knees, and just release the arms. I like to put my fingertips on the floor and just sway side to side, releasing any tension, and then repeating on the same for the other side. So as I bend my knees, I'm going to try to get my left shoulder inside of the left knee, and Take the arms open, interlacing behind the back. Or rather, right wrist inside the left hand. So it all just depends if you have that space or not. You could be just connecting the strap. You might straighten the legs, looking up, and in this position, you can kind of feel how your body is turning away from your leg. Yeah, in order to get that shoulder knee connection, your body's turning away from the leg, and that's going to be important later. Okay, bend the knees, release, and the hips side to side. So we're slowly piecing this together. And let the hips release tension. And if you need longer breaks, you take the longer breaks. So this time when we go down, we're going to do the same, but this time you might have the option to start to stand. And I'm going to go nice and slow. Okay, so again, go down, right arm under. You might find your bind, you might connect your strap. Work towards a straighter leg. Now, as you lift your right heel, you'll shift the weight to the left leg. You may even slide your right foot closer towards the left. I find it helpful to look down to the floor. It's just a little more grounding. Bend or soften the left knee and start to stand up. The right leg will be hooked, so it's going to come up with the arm or the shoulder. Just take a moment and stand. Totally optional if you feel it work towards straighter, feeling really like you might just keep it bent. Ooh, balance can be tough. So as you straighten, right, you're going to be pushing the leg downward. So it's important to keep the arms or the bind nice and strong. Again, you have that relationship of push and pull. And whenever you want to, you don't have to hold on. And come down with control. Remember, we don't drop the leg. Let it hang, let it shift, swivel the hips. Same on the other side. So as you saw with me, it's really easy and common to fall out. And we just try it again, right? No big deal. Better to let go of your bind, right, and save yourself from falling than to try to hold the bind. Okay, so we're going to go in, left arm under, and lift your left heel. You can slide it closer to your right leg if that helps. Soften the right knee, press through your right foot. I like to stand up and really take my time standing. This, I would say, is maybe the most important part, right? Trying to find your stability and just that effort of the gravity of your left leg wanting to bring your upper body down. If you want to add a leg, you do, but it's not necessary. Oh, you could take a couple tries. Down, whenever you feel ready. If you fall at first, and just sway the hips. Now, a little bonus here to stretch out the outer hip because you felt there's a lot of work there, especially for the standing leg to stabilize. I'm going to step the right foot behind the left so you can see I'm making an X. The knee is the center of the X. Right? And I'm going to walk my hands to the left. So as I do, I'm pushing my hips to the right. And then I'll come back in the middle. I'll switch it over. So left foot behind the right, make an X. So the knee is the middle of the X. Walk your hands as much as you can over to the right. Like I said, right on the other side was your left. And press your hips to the left. So left foot goes behind, hands go to the right side, so the hips can go to the left side. Okay, come on up. Pressing into your feet, bend your knees, and inhale. Nice big stretch up to stand. I'm going to take my space. I'm going to press my hips forward. My palms are a bit forward. Just letting the front of my body breathe. In your hands. Hands behind. Inhale, chest open. Again, another familiar theme for this class. Exhale, fold. Arms can come forward and up. If your shoulders are tired of this, it's not working out for you, certainly let your hands come down to the floor. Lift your head and just place your hands on the mat. Opportunity here to float. So it can be plank, plank, facing, and downward facing. Right foot forward towards the right hand, left knee to the ground. So I'm going to recommend that you have your right foot sort of closer to the top of the mat. And again, this position, this movement that we're doing, I'm not looking for you to go into full expression of the deepest version of it, just exploring again. So we're going down with the shoulder. So you can take your arm underneath the leg. Yes, your arms are wide. And your right foot, you can be on the heel of the right foot, or you can have the foot flat, right? So if you're on the heel, then the toes come off. Walk your left knee back. And as you do, you might feel you can take your arms a bit wider because you're going down, you're going a little flatter. I'm going to stay in this a little bit hunched position because today is not the day for me to be going flat, but you might. You can also press your right heel forward to feel that. And it takes a lot of strength to feel contained here. So you're just going as far as you feel you can. Right? Lots of hips going on. And I find what's helpful is to slide to the left to bring the arm out. And you can even turn to the left if you want to find an escape through the side. Okay. If you came out through the front, that's okay too. Right. So you're just going to come out however feels safe for you. However feels safe for you. Depends how far down you went. And if you feel like you have the slipperiness of your mat to be able to zip it up, or if your mat's really sticky, you may have to come up the side. Downward dog. Try the other side. So left foot steps towards the hand. Again, I like to start kind of near the top of my mat because it's really the back leg that moves or adds the depth by going further back. The right leg tends to be more bent. So we bend the left knee and scoot behind the left leg, maybe taking the arms a bit wide. Now here's where you decide you want to be on the flat of your foot or on the heel. Both are okay. It just depends how far you're going. I want to think of elongating the chest forward, and I might take the knee back. So you take your time with it, right? How far do you want to go? Maybe widen your arms. Pull that in. Very relaxed. I know it doesn't seem very relaxing. Just do what you can. It's a bit of time to sometimes feel the depth. We'll go. Okay, we're going to escape out the right. So I'm going to slide my left arm out to the right. I might even turn and pivot to the right if that's the easy exit. Come back to the front. Or if you were pretty close to the front, you might just come out that way. Downward facing dog. Option to flow. The upward dog might feel really good on the front of the hips. And downward facing dog. Walk, step or jump towards the front of the mat. Bring my feet closer together and coming into chair to sit. Right, you can use your hands as well. Set your feet a little bit forward and roll down. I like to roll down with control, just adds a little bit of bonus abdominal work and spinal control. And when you get to the bottom, walk your heels in. So maybe not as close as to graze them, but close-ish. Feet are about a hip width apart. Pressing into your feet and lift the hips. So as I step into the feet, the knees reach forward and the front of the hips open. Slowly lower the hips back down to the ground. A moment or two. And again, pressing into the feet, step into the feet, into the toes, and feel the knees reach forward so the front of the hips lift up. I generally don't lift through the upper back for this one, just because I'm keeping the work more to the lower body and the hips. So you'll notice that from the knees to the shoulder, I'm more or less making a straight line. I'm not puffing up or lifting up through the chest. And then slowly release. And take a break at the bottom. And then one more time, we're going to come up to the bridge. So pressing through the feet. Dig the heels down, and imagine I was dragging my feet to my head. You feel the hollow of your belly sink. Slowly release down. Take a moment just to neutral. Perhaps feet nice and wide, maybe to the edges of the mat even, and the knees knocking together for a bit of constructive rest. You could do one hand on the belly, one hand on the rib cage or the chest. Perhaps taking the hands down. So you can now place the bottoms of the feet together and the knees wide. So you're in a supine butterfly, a supine cobbler's pose. Knees are just dropping open, bottoms of the feet together. Hands, palms against the top of your thigh. So right where your torso meets the leg, right at that little divot there at that junction, I'm going to place the heel of my hand, the thumb towards the inner leg and the fingers wrapping around back. Press down into your arms and then lift your upper back to slide it further up the mat. So you're really creating some traction here through the low back. Okay, so as you feel there's more length, you might lift your upper back and slide it even higher away from the hips. My arms are straightening. Give it a nice, even, firm pressure. Release the pressure. And let's do one more time. Press down, lengthen. And release. Let's take the arms out to the sides, put shoulder height, knees to the chest, and drop your knees to the right. If you want, you can use your right hand and hold the outside of your left thigh to press it down, and that will just keep the stack of the hips. Your shoulder doesn't meet the floor, that's totally okay. Just have the shoulder blade descend and think about the front of your chest, the front of your shoulder lengthening back. Come back in the middle, okay? And now we'll go to the side. So we'll bring the knees to the left. You can use your left hand to hold the outside of your right thigh and reach your right arm back. And it might take a little bit of adjusting through the position of the shoulders on the floor to get you into a nice twist. And then we'll come back in the middle. So to settle in here for our final rest, you can either straighten the legs for traditional shavasana with the arms down. If you're If you have blocks or other props and you want to place them underneath your thighs, that's a good option also for your final rest. If you feel you would be better off to sit in a closed eyes meditation, right, that's an option as well. And finally, if there is another position that we didn't get to that you really want to practice, this would be a great time to squeeze that in. Your body's warmed up, right? Maybe you have an inversion practice, maybe you want to do a plow pose, something of that nature. And if you want to, this would be the time to squeeze it in. Otherwise, you're lying down nice and relaxed. Feel the back body connecting to the floor. You can connect with that heat, feel that, and start to melt. Imagine your body was in layers. As your back melts into the floor, the middle layer melts into the back layer. The very top of your body starts to sink downwards as well. For the next few moments, we're going to take a break to bring that awareness inwards. Little time for our minds to relax as much as our body. We'll be bringing your awareness back to your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles, moving your arms and your legs, maybe stretching your arms up over your head and lengthening. Draw the knees towards the chest and roll to your side. Spend as long as you'd like on your side, feeling the weight of your body settle. And in your own time, rolling up to sit. Thank you so much for sharing your day with me. Thank you for your energy, for practicing yoga, and especially for all of your efforts. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.